about being your lover. Right now I'm just making you suffer, catching the beat like a drama. Yeah. You woke up, my love, no more slumber. I know we ain't getting no younger. I know that you'll be the best mother. Won't you be my baby girl? Pick up the phone,
Time to get it in, family. Let's get this juice. Let's go.
You know you the one. Stop back in the alarm, no fear in the storm. Nah. I know I was wrong for things I have done. Now reading the Psalms. Yeah. God gave you a sign, so give me some time. Reprogram my mind. I would do anything, anything. I'll do it for you. I would do anything, anything. I'll do it for you. Anything for you. Yeah. Anything, girl, everything. Yeah. Anything for you. Yeah. Anything, everything.
Blessings, beautiful queen. No shade. I see you, my beautiful sister. Shalom, queen. Shalom. It's time to get it in, sis. We got some juice that we finna drop off. We probably ain't got that much time, sis, but we gonna get it in. Let's go.
My mama done told me there'd be brighter days if we keep on fighting. True love will endure, it'll keep us afloat when the waters of life keep rising. Don't listen to what they say, haters always gonna hate. Don't bite it, don't take the bait, we all in need of more grace. Pick up the phone, I'll pull up tomorrow, can play in the morning, yeah. You know you the one, stop back in the alarm, no fear in the storm, nah. I know I was wrong for things I have done, now reading the Psalms, yeah. God gave you a sign, so give me some time, reprogram my mind. I would do anything, anything, I'll do it for you. I would do anything, anything, I'll do it for you. Anything for you. Yeah. Anything, girl, everything. Yeah. Anything for you. Yeah. Anything, everything. Anything for you. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Anything for you. Yeah. Anything, everything. Ooh, yeah.
They married somebody that wanted to spend time with them and valued them. And wasn't it a sweet moment when Elizabeth, in front of all this, just affirmed Blake and said, Blake, you love me so well. Jake moved to Hastings, Virginia. He doesn't really want to live here. I think he does now. He likes having the horses and he likes all that, but it wasn't a great move for him business-wise. God's been breaking him quite a bit, as he shared. But it is a scriptural truth that if we don't humble ourselves, God will humble us. So
Shalom, family. Shalom. We got beautiful Queen O'Shea in the building, and all those, man, all 12 tribes of Yasharala, man, that's all around the world. I want to say that we are out here. Let's go, families. Now, families, they might end up kicking everybody out about 5 minutes into this video. Families, all you got to do is just come back and holler at your brother. Now, families, Trump just ordered a hit. The U.S. just got through killing the Iran leader, Soleimani. He just got killed, families, and it was a drone hit. Now, families, all this is going up to Genesis chapter 16, families, where it sits there and says that Ishmael was this wild beast. Families, Ishmael is the Persians, families. The Persians, when you read Genesis chapter 16, verse 12, also as well, families, you'll read Genesis chapter 17 and 20. This is the nature of them, families. They will retaliate, but families, they must join allies with Russia. Russia is Gog and Magog, families, that you read about, that prophet Daniel was telling you in the book of Daniel, chapter 11, 40 through 45. As well, you will as well go to the next chapter, Daniel, the book of Daniel, chapter 12, 1 through 3. Now, families, this right here, families, people want to sit there and say it's just for a show. But no, it's not just for no show, families. They playing their cards. Because Zechariah bags up his brother Daniel in Zechariah chapter 14, 3 and 9, my brothers and sisters. It's finna get real out here. Those that run from this, families, when it come on your front door, where you gonna run to now? This ain't nothing to be played with, man. The Holy Scriptures is probably one of the most prominent books that was ever created known to man. Every prophecy from the beginning to the end of that joker is coming to pass, families. People can run from it all you want to, but sooner or later it's gonna come to your front door. And it is what it is, families, because people ain't prepping themselves up. For real, families. They not looking into, hey, blessings, beautiful Queen Anointed. They not looking into prophecy, families. They not going to the old prophets, families. But you want me to tell you something, though? We is ready to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 46. And we're going to see what Isaiah is trying to tell us in this era, families. Let's get another song in.
The root of all wisdom is the fear. If you wanna live longer, then fear. You love pain is love when you obey His law. Through everything, fear. We live in a world that is backwards. They call good evil and evil good. The hopes of man void of understanding are vain and false. I heard a wise man say, if you love me, keep my commandments. But you choose to do what you want to do, cause you hated instruction. The root of all wisdom is the fear. If you want to live longer, then fear. You love pain is love when you obey His laws. Through everything, fear. Who created heaven and earth? The moon and the stars. And who created you?
I see you in the building, beautiful Queen Anointed. I see you, sis. We waiting on everybody else to come in, then we're going to drop them jewels, sis.
All because of religion. You say you love Him, but you never want to do anything that He say. Reject His word, you choose to do everything your way. You want a righteous world, first take a look in the mirror. Don't just be a hearer, it's a must to be a doer. The root of all wisdom is the fear. If you wanna live longer, then fear. You love pain is love when you obey His laws. Through everything, fear. The root of all wisdom is the fear. If you wanna live longer, then fear. You will receive His Ecclesiasticus 1:20. You obey His love. The root of wisdom is the fear of Yahuwah, and the branches thereof are long life. Hey everybody, I'm Chad Book Sam. This is AMTV Media, hard hitting and in your face, and this is breaking and critical news. I want everybody to understand exactly what's happening. I'm following up on Christopher Green's video that he just uploaded regarding the military commander who was just assassinated. First, I want everybody to understand who this person is. This is the most public, visible military commander in Iran. Qasem Soleimani, he's the head of the Quds Force. He's been the most outspoken critic against the United States of America, obviously. He's close to Ayatollah Khamenei. This is such a high-level target, using airstrikes against the Baghdad airport, other military...
All right, now, families, man, hey, beautiful Queen Anointed, what he's letting us know right now that Iran is really the Muslim families. These are those, man, that pray they pray off the stone. Off the stone. We pray they say that the Christians pray off the wood, families. Now, families, what they're showing you, families, that they are the line of Ishmael. They is a mixed breed, families. All that's over there in the Persian area, families. All those that's over there in the Persian area. We talking about Asia. We talking about Europe. All them, man. All of them, China, all of them. Now, families, it's finna go into prophecy, families, where they had to get vexed, families. And U.S. did that. U.S. is known as Daughter Babylon, families. Daughter Babylon, a.k.a. Mystery Babylon. They is the one that's going to set everything in order, not like in order, families, but families, they must bring war. That's why when you go to the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and it sits there and it tells you about you will hear wars and rumors of wars, families, but ye do not be troubled, families. The reason why, families, because prophecy must come to pass. Why would prophecy must come to pass? We're going to let this brother finish what he's saying, and then, families, you want to go into your sword. Go to Isaiah chapter 46, verses 9 through 13. Come, beautiful Queen, no shade. That people, hey, sis, we finna get this juice. We had a study class for the night, families, but we finna go back to that. We studying right now. Because we got to learn on how can we put on our priestly garments. But families, this just occurred. Let's go.
Commanders in Iran were assassinated, that this absolutely could be the spark that rages the fire throughout the Middle East. Now, we know a few things. It's clear that, what have we seen? We've seen Iran pro-militias attack and kill an American contractor and injure U.S. troops. Subsequently, the United States of America launched airstrikes against a pro-Iran militia. After that, these pro-Iran militia and protesters, they stormed the U.S. Embassy. Now, nobody was killed, but this obviously was an attack on the United States because a U.S. Embassy, that territory, is United States territory. And now with this strike, again, guys, this is like killing and assassinating the Secretary of Defense of the United States of America. I want everybody to understand how huge this is. And Donald John Trump, he's not reporting about this. He's not really talking about it. This is mean that he's acting. We're deploying more troops. The Pentagon is saying that Iran is planning more attacks. Of course Iran is going to retaliate. This is the most high-level target, one of them, besides the Ayatollah or the president, that you can kill in Iran.
Oh, now the reason why this brother is trying to let you know that, family, because only scriptures can back up what he's talking about right now. He's not going to go into scriptures. But families, we're going to go into scriptures to kind of help this brother let you, because what he's trying to let the world know, those that don't be in the scriptures like that, families, he's trying to let you know, families, that America is playing big bully. They the bully right now, families. They got to make war with all these nations, families. That way that these nations can start allying themselves together, families. For real, for real, for real. That's why Isaiah tell you to remember the days of old. But you got a lot of people that tell you do not go into the past. Families, every prophet that you go to, family, is going to tell you to remember the days of old. Because what has not yet happened must be done, my brothers and sisters. Let's go, man.
I hope everybody understands how bad this is. Leading into 2020, honestly, what have we seen throughout years so far? We've seen attacks on oil tankers. We've seen attacks in the Strait of Hormuz. We've seen attacks on the Saudi Arabian oil fields. And everybody asks, why isn't Iran being attacked? We saw a downing of a U.S. drone. Why isn't Iran being attacked? There is a mystery behind it, and I'll tell you what that probably is. That Iran has nuclear weapons, and this is why we haven't went in. You ever asked yourself all of the aggression?
Pause. Now, families, I gotta stop that brother right there because that ain't what it is, families. It's far. He's far from it. Now, he was speaking a little bit of truth. He was going good for a little minute, though, families, until he sat there and says, "I'm going to tell you what the mystery is." The mystery is because Iran has nuclear weapons. If people really truly believe that right now, man, Russia got nuclear weapons. Korea got nuclear weapons. Do people really truly believe that that's that mystery? No. Let's go to Genesis chapter 16, man. We're going to show you a little something. Yeah, Genesis chapter 16. This is who Iran is, families, and families. It will come back into their memory, families, exactly of what type of nature they has. Genesis chapter 16, you want to read verse 12. And then, families, we're going to bag that up with some more. He was talking good. We finna go to another video, families, too, as well. This just happened, families. This just occurred. Hallelujah, beautiful Queen O'Shea. We don't play no games, families. Our scriptures bag us up. Let's go. So people will sit there and say, well, I think you're doing a race thing. This ain't got nothing to do about no race, man. This ain't got nothing, because we finna go to the prophet Isaiah. And Isaiah is trying to tell the children of Israel that the Most High left us a message. He left us a little letter, and he left it in the mind of Isaiah. Isaiah finna give us a message, families, that we, the children of Yasharal, is supposed to take heed to. And then, families, then we finna go to the book of Ezekiel. 2 or 3 or more witnesses, families. That way that your word can be established with sound doctrine. Families, this is who Iran is. Verse 11. And the angel of the Most High said unto her, Behold, thou art with a child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Most High have heard thy afflictions. And he will be a what? Wild man. Why would he be such a wild man? His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of his brethren. Check this out. And she called the name of the Most High that spake unto her, Thou the Most High seest me, for she said, I have also here looked after him that seeketh me. Pause. Now, families, it sits there and says that Ishmael is known as a wild man. And families, he sat there and says that his hand is against every man, and every man is against them. That's why the Most High sat there and says that I have heard their afflictions. Families, Ishmael name stands for that the Most High hears. Hears what? Their afflictions. Now, families, it's because Ishmael has a wild nature, but the Most High, he has a special thing for Ishmael right now. He does. He truly, truly do. But my brother and sister, it sit there and he tells Abraham that should nobody, no, for a matter of fact, let's back that up in chapter 17. This is the order of Israel that we wasn't supposed to do to Ishmael because they are a brother. Chapter 17, we need to read verse 20. And the Most High said to Sarah thy wife, shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. What did he hear? He heard in chapter 16, families, he heard his afflictions. That's what he heard. Behold, I have blessed him. What did he bless him with? And will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. That's the whole East Coast, families. That's what's going on. Families, what the US of A just did, families, what all they did, families, was just it's to push Ishmael right now so they can team up with Russia. Russia is known as Gog and Magog, families, in the scriptures. That's what Daniel, the prophet Daniel, was trying to tell you in Daniel chapter 11. in Daniel chapter 12. That's what Daniel was trying to let you know. He's let you know that they finna ally themselves together. But then Hamashiach gave a prophecy to Zechariah families that he want all this to happen. He needs all this to happen. Watch this. We're going to prove that. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. What did he hear? He heard that afflictions. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he begot, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. Now, families, people don't. They a lot of only Israel. Yasharallah is the only ones, man, that's doing prophecies at this moment. Families, you got Christian apologists taking away from prophecies. They tell you all about the promises, families, but families, they don't tell you about the true covenant. Oh, they want to. Oh man, he sat there and says he made a new covenant. Families, you don't even understand what the new covenant is for you to even speak upon the new covenant. There's a lot of things that must happen. Why there's a lot of things that must happen? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 46 so we can get to our next video. People think this is a game. You just don't know what's going on right now, man. But the prophets tell you exactly what's going on. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 46. And you want to, this precept families in Isaiah chapter 46, you're going to do verses 9 through 13. Isaiah chapter 46. Check this out, families. Verses 8 through 13. Remember this and show yourselves men. Who told us to remember what? What were we supposed to remember? He's going to tell us. Bring it again to mind. What he's going to bring to your mind? O ye your transgressors. Remember the former things of old. For I am Yahuwah, and there is none else. I am Yahuwah, and there is none like me. Declare the end from the beginning, and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done. Saying, my counsel shall stand. What counsel, families? And I will do all my pleasures. What is his pleasures? His judgments, families, from all the nations, families that wasn't obeying the law, statutes, and commandments, for all the nation families that's vexing their brother at this moment, for all the nation families that that is not remembering the covenant or the prophecies that's in this book, for all the nations that's out there, families, that's using these scriptures, families, as misusing the power, for all the nations that's out there that's not preparing for war. Check this out. Verse 11. Calling a ravenous bird from the east. Who's that ravenous bird? That wild beast, a wild man that he was talking about in Genesis chapter 16. He's telling you these beasts are nations. He's telling you about a group of people, families. They are nations, man. Check this out. Calling a ravenous bird from the east. The man that executed my counsel from a far country. What man that executed his counsel from a far country? He finna tell you what nation it was. Yea, I have spoken it. I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it. I will also do it. Ain't nobody finna stop what's finna to go on right now. So a lot of people sitting over here and saying, oh man, that's a false flag, man. He ain't dead. He ain't, man, you don't know what the heck you talking about, man. Man, they acting. Man, you can sit there and think they acting all they want to, man. Because families, what just happened, families? It's going to cause more wars. But families, all it's doing is so Iran can team up with Gog and Magog, which is known as Russia. They need them to team up. That's what they need them to do to start what they call a World War III. Check this out. Hearken unto me, and soft-hearted that are far from righteousness. Who gonna be far from righteousness? Those that don't believe this truth right now. Those that thinking that everything that they see on the news is a false flag. Check this out. I bring near my righteousness. What righteousness? Those that go into this. It shall not be far off. And my salvation shall not tarry. And I will place salvation in where? Zion, my brothers and sisters. For Yasharallah, my glory. Did he say all people here? No, because people don't believe in prophecies, man. People don't believe in the banners, man. People don't believe in them priestly heavenly garments, man. People don't believe in structure, ordership, rulership, priesthood, man. They thinking everything is a joke. They thinking that everything is just planned it all out and all you got to do is just live your life. Oh, no. Oh, no. Why? He's sitting there telling that everything is planned out in the most highest ways. Not yours. Not yours. He's telling you that you got to read these scriptures that way that you can know what the future holds for you if you apply these scriptures in your life daily, man. This ain't no game. Families, what the U.S. just did, families, was made it to where that Iran would team up with Russia, and we're going to prove that with prophecy from our brothers, man, the prophets, man. This ain't no joke, man. What's wrong with people out here? Y'all, people, because people ain't been to war, man. You think you done had a couple of fist fights, man, and you done been in a couple missed out drive-bys, man, that you family, this ain't gonna be no drive-by, man. Let's go. Ezekiel chapter 38, we're gonna read verse 5 and 11. Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 5 and 11. Those out there, man, that ain't claiming themselves Yasharallah at this moment. Those out there that ain't claiming themselves Israel at this moment. The Most High going to tell you exactly what you're going to claim when that time comes during that great tribulation. You will make that choice. You will claim the banner. You will claim that you is Israel. If you're not Israel, then you is against us. Period. Period. You're not claiming yourself Yasharallah. You against us, man. Either you believe the scriptures or you don't. If you don't believe these scriptures or certain parts of the scripture, then this book would never was for you. Families, man, people need to understand, families, that you have a seed of Satan out here, man. You truly, truly do. You have a seed of Cain out here. You have the seed of Nimrod out here. Families, you have the seed of the fallen ones out here. Families, the Nephilims. Families, you have the seed of these people out here. Families, that be in your face every single day, man. For real. Oh, don't worry. We finna go to the video. I just got to add up some prophecies right quick. Let's go. Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 5. Let's go. We're going to read verse 4. And we need to read Ezekiel chapter 38, 4 through 11. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them cloth with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. These are those that sitting there talking about that they got nuclear weapons. Them they swords right now. Watch this. Our sword is these scriptures. Persia, Utopia, and Libya with them. All of them with shields and helmet. Why they getting body? Why they getting armored up for? He's telling you these are nations that are arming themselves up for who? For Israel. They finna get ready to go against you. That's who they finna ready to go. They finna go against you. Watch this. He's telling you what they finna do. Gomer and all his bands. Check this out. The house of Togarmah and the north quarters and all his bands and many people with them. Be thou prepared. Who's supposed to be prepared? And prepare for thyself, thy and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou guard unto them. After many days thou shalt be visited in the latter years. What latter years? These years right here that we're in right now. Thou shalt come into the lands into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of who? Yasharala, them the 12 tribes of Israel, families. When he talk about the mountains, he's talking about us that's scattered on on all four corners of this planet right now, family. And we waking up. But guess what's finna happen? Watch this. Which I have always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely. All of them. Who's going to dwell safely? Us that just read this prophecy right now, because we know what's going to happen. We know who he's talking to right here. He's talking to Israel. Watch this, man. Y'all think this a game? Verse 9. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Who's going to ascend? Ascend. Those that's waking up in this hour. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thus said Yahuwah the Most High, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall these things come into mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. Families, what is he just quoting? He's quoting Isaiah chapter 46. When the Most High told you to remember the days of old, the ancient times. Man, family, you need 2 or 3 prophets, not no witnesses that's out here in this world. He's talking about in this book. And families, you have to establish every word. Okay, check this out. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land in unwailed villages. Where he's going to unwailed? These nations. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely. All of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn the hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, and dwell in the midst of the land. We are not done, man. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 39, a verse over, family. He's showing you how they finna gather themselves together. Let's go. That's why he told you, man, don't worry about wars and rumors of wars, families. But families, all these things must come to pass. He's not playing with nobody. If you're gonna believe it, then you need to prepare yourself. If you're not gonna believe it, then you in the way. Just go somewhere and do whatever you're doing until your day of death come. But those that trying to wake up, folks, we trying to wake up Israel, man. We trying to tell you that it's time for you to strap up and boot up, man. I think it's a game. Watch this. Check this out. Think it ain't Russia? If you really truly don't think it ain't Russia and Iran, check this out then. Therefore the Son of Man prophesy against God. Who's the Son of Man? And who prophesies against God? Who is God in these scriptures? Thus said the Yahuwah the Most High, behold, I am against thee. Against who? O Gog, the chief priest of Meshech and Tubal. Now, families, let's go to find out who is Gog is, because they didn't lie to you. My bad, families. Watch this. So who is Gog and Magog today, families? What is Gog and Magog called today? In Ezekiel 38, Gog is an women. Check this out, family. They didn't hide it from you, man, because they want them. They need their people to know who they are, just like we need to know who we are. In Ezekiel chapter 38, Gog is an individual and Magog is his land. In Genesis chapter 10, Magog is a man, but no Gog is mentioned. And centuries later, Jewish traditions, we are called the Jews, not Jewish. changed Ezekiel, Gog from Magog, into Gog and Magog, which is a form in which they appeared in the book of Revelations. Although although they are peoples rather than, check this out. Hold on, family. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? I know what I did wrong. This what I needed. It's Russia, families. It's Russia. It's Russia. All right, but we ain't done though, families. We need to go back to Ezekiel chapter 39 because he has a message for us. He has a message for us. Let's go. He has a message for us. Check this out. Here we go. And I will turn thee back. We at verse 2, families. And I will turn thee back and leave but the sixth part of thee, and will cause thee to come up from the north parts, and will bring thee upon the mountains of Yasharallah. And I will smite thy bow out of thy left hand, and will cause thine arrows to fall out of thy right hand. Family, that's talking about Ishmael, man. Thou shalt fall upon the mountains of Israel, thou and all thy bands, and the people that is with thee. I will give thee unto the ravenous birds of every sort, and to the beasts of the field to be devoured. Thou shalt fall upon the open fields, for I have spoken it, said Yahuwah the Most High. And I will send a fire on Magog, and among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. So I will make my holy name known in the midst of my people. Whose holy name? Yah's holy name, families, Yahuwah. Check this out. And I will not let them pollute my holy name anymore. The Most High done had enough, man. He done had enough. Check this out. And the heathen shall know that I am Yahuwah, the Holy One of Yasharallah. Behold, it is come, and it is done, said the Most High Yahuwah. This is the day whereof I have spoken, and they that dwell in the cities of Yasharallah shall go forth and set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, the bows and the arrows. The bows and the arrows, and the handstraws and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years, my brothers and sisters, so that They shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut it down any out of the forest, for they shall burn the weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoil them, and rob those that rob them, said Yahuwah the Most High. He's not playing nobody games, families. Why he's not playing nobody games? And it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto Gog a place thereof, graves in Yasharallah, families. It's gonna be a lot of dead bodies, man. The valley of the passengers on the east of the sea, and it shall stop the noses of the passengers, and there shall they bury God and all his multitude, and they shall call it the valley of Hamon-Gog. Let's go, families. Let's not play no game. Check this out. We're not done. Why did he call it that? Why did he call it that? Verse 14. And they shall serve him, out man of the continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remained upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it. After the end of the 7 months shall they search, and the passengers that pass through the land, when any seeketh a man's bone, then shall he set up a sign by it, till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Hamon-Gog. And also the name of the city shall be Harmonah. Thus shall they cleanse the land, my brothers and sisters. The Most High is not playing, families. He need Ishmael families to team up with Gog and Magog, my brothers and sisters. He needs that to happen, families. That will fulfill the prophecy in Daniel chapter 11, 40 through 45, as well as Daniel chapter 12, 1 and 3, my brothers and sisters. That will as well show you what Yeshua will come and do in Zechariah chapter 14, 3 and 9, families. And then when all these nations gather themselves together, we got Armageddon, families, in Revelation chapter 9, 13 through 18. Then you'll go to Revelation chapter 16 and 12. Let's go to this video. People think this is a game. This ain't no game, man. If you stick to prophecy, families, then you'll be able to look at stuff like this and add it up with scriptures instead of trying to twisting up the words, man. People will try to twist up the Most High's words. And then sit there and say the Most High showed me this. The Most High didn't show you that. He showed it to your forefather a long time ago. You just taking his stuff and you putting your name behind it. That's all you doing. That's what people do out here, families.
Baghdad airport kills Iran's most revered military leader and a senior official in Iraq's paramilitary forces. Now, the Pentagon announced tonight that the attack was a U.S. airstrike. Here's the statement. At the direction of the president, the U.S. military has taken decisive defensive action to protect U.S. personnel abroad by killing Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force, a U.S.-designated foreign terrorist organization. Now, General Soleimani was actively developing plans to attack American diplomats and service members in Iraq and throughout the region. General Soleimani and his Quds Force were responsible for the deaths of hundreds of American and coalition service members and the wounding of thousands more. He had orchestrated attacks on coalition bases in Iraq over the last several months, including the attack on December 27th, culminating in the death and wounding of additional American and Iraqi personnel. General Soleimani also approved the attacks on the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad that took place this week. The strike was aimed at deterring future Iranian attack plans. The United States will continue to take all necessary action to protect our people and our interests wherever they are around the world.
Let's go, families. We can't be playing with it. We got to go to our next video.
It's happening. Signs of the last days prophecies are happening just like the Bible said, revealing that we are nearing the end of this age and the return of Jesus Christ for his church. And we have breaking news here this evening as it is coming in over the news media that the United States, President Trump, ordered the killing of Qasem Soleimani, who is the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. And that's the news that's coming in this evening. This is a huge, major event in the Mideast, and the repercussions from this can, right now it's just sort of staggering to the mind about what could come out of this across the Middle East. But again, breaking news that the United States, in the one of the reports that I read stated that it was a drone strike that was done on a convoy at the Iraqi International Airport at Baghdad. A drone strike by the United States hit a convoy of vehicles, and in that convoy was the head of the Iranian Quds Force, which the Quds Force is the Iranians call it the Quds Force, meaning the Jerusalem Force, which is the primary arm of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, and it is specifically the branch of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps that is responsible for all of the militias that Iran has across the Mideast. And Qasem Soleimani, the general, Iranian general of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force, he has been killed by the United States after President Trump, it's reported, ordered his killing, in that they had intelligence that Soleimani, along with the Iraqi militias that Iran controls, they have intelligence that they were planning more strikes on U.S. targets with plans to kill more U.S. forces, including also U.S. diplomats. And we're sharing this with you almost at the same time that it came in to us. And on the Daily Wire, over the wire, it reported that U.S. military forces have reportedly killed 2 top Iranian military commanders involved in terrorism across the Mideast with an airstrike, as I mentioned, there in Iraq. And they're saying that this is as big a deal, and many news sites are saying that it's even a bigger deal than the killing of al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, and certainly a bigger deal than the killing of ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Iranian Major General Qasem Soleimani, here on the wire service I'm reading this, head of the Quds Force, and also Iraqi militia, the Iraqi militia commander Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis was also killed, who are the 2 Iranian military leaders that are in charge of all of the Iranian militias in Iraq that are called the Popular Mobilization Forces. The BBC reported, the reporter was Ali Hashim, said that my sources are saying that commander of IRGC Quds Force, Qasem Soleimani, and the chief of the PMU, the Popular Mobilization Forces in Iraq, Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis, were in the convoy hit by the U.S. airstrike at the Baghdad airport in Iraq. So that is what the Daily Wire is reporting. Now also we're going to go over, I wanted to confirm this with several sources because here in these days, there's at times whenever we get reports about something and then when you dig into it more, it turns out to be exactly not correct or false. But I've confirmed this across several news media that's coming out with this. Also, the Times of Israel has reported their headline was "Powerful Iranian General Qasem Soleimani Killed in Baghdad Airstrike." Goes on to say the leader of IRGC's elite Quds force, blamed for attacks on Israel and the United States, was killed in a bombing at the Iraqi airport. Says the head of the Iran-backed militias in Iraq was also killed as well, and that the United States has confirmed its involvement. Goes on to say Qasem Soleimani, the powerful head of Iran's Quds force, was killed in an airstrike at Baghdad International Airport. And this was confirmed by Iraqi TV and also by several Iraqi officials as well. This is from the Times of Israel. The official said the strike, and it goes on about how it also killed the head of the PMUs in Iraq. Said U.S. officials told Reuters news agency that the U.S. military had carried out a strike in Baghdad on two figures linked to Iran, but did not provide details at that time. And the attack has came just hours, I think less than 24 hours, after Defense Secretary U.S. Secretary of Defense Mark Esper said that the U.S. was ready to step up activities and even including preemptive strikes against Iran-backed forces in Iraq. As I said, including preemptive strikes. Little did we realize that in less than 24 hours, such a preemptive strike would be done. And he goes on to say here in the Times of Israel that Soleimani's death will likely mark a major escalation in the conflict between the U.S. and Iran that is recently boiling over in Iraq with the storming of the U.S. Embassy by the Iranian militias in Iraq following a U.S. strike on a Tehran or Iran-backed militia. And that was actually a counterstrike by the United States against that militia because they had fired 30 rockets into a U.S. coalition base in Iraq that had wounded many U.S. soldiers and killed one American.
Pause. Now I gotta stop that brother right there, families, man, now, because he's gonna go to, to a point to where like save America, whoop whoop, and all this and that, families. Babylon finna have his day. It is what it is, families. A lot of people want the Most High to say, man, the Most High gave the chosen people this land, whoop whoop, man, families. No. He gave the land to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Jerusalem, because Jerusalem is the mother of us all. He gave us Israel, families. That's what he gave us. Let's go. He's going to show you what he's going to do to these nations. Back to Ezekiel chapter 39 again before we go back to this video. Because people don't understand prophecies, man. Back to Ezekiel chapter 39 again. Verse 17. He wrote it down for his families. It's not hard to find, families. It's not. You just gotta understand the prophecies, families. That's all it is. That's all it is, man. Check this out. Verse 17. And the Son of Man, thus said Yahuwah the Most High, speaking to every feather fowl and every beast of the field, assemble yourselves and come, gather yourself on every side to my sacrifice, that I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice upon the what? Mountains of Yasharallah. The mountains is the 12 tribes of Israel, families. That's why he said it with an S. Check this out, man. That ye may eat flesh and drink blood. Who told us to drink the flesh, eat the flesh? Hamashiach. He said that says, take this bread and break it, for this is my flesh. He said that says, take this wine and drink it, for this is my blood. Let's go, man. Ye shall eat the flesh of the mighty and drink the blood of the princes of the earth. of rams and lambs, and of goats and bullocks, all of them fatlings of Bashan. And ye shall eat fat till ye be full, and drink blood till ye be drunken of my sacrifice, which I have sacrificed for you. Hey, blessings, King. Well, I am. Hey, bro, man, we going over the wild beasts. Ishmael, the Most High sat there and says that Ishmael was gonna be a wild man, and that he will be against every man, and his hand will be against every man. And Trump just ordered a kill hit to the Iran leader, general of Iran, Soleimani, and he just killed him. And what that just really just started an event for basically Iran to team up with Russia. That's what that's trying to do, my brother. And we're going to the prophecies to prove that. Check this out. Check this out. Verse 20. Thus ye shall be filled at my table with horses and chariots, with mighty men, and with all men of what? War. In verse 20, who he's talking to? No, bro, they actually ain't trying to start a war. Yeah, it been happening, bro. Based upon the prophecies that we've been reading, this war been going on for over 1,000 years. Yes, sir. Cause why? Check this out, bro. Let's read verse 20. Watch this. Thus ye shall be filled at my table. Who's going to be filled at his table? Israel. Israel is going to be filled at his table. And we're going to be filled at his table with what? With horses and chariots, with mighty men. What mighty men? The mighty men of old, the ones that were standing up for this truth, and they died for this truth. And guess what he said? And with all men of war. Ain't got nothing to do with no love, my brothers and sisters. Nothing. Check this out. Said, let me read that all again so I can get into it. Verse 20 again. Thus ye shall be filled at my table with horses and chariots, with mighty men, and with all men of war, said Yahuwah the Most High. And I will set my glory among who? The heathens. And all the heathens shall do what? See my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. So the house of Yasharallah shall know that I am Yahuwah, their Elohim, from the day and forward, families. He sat there and said that we was never going to forget this moment. From the time, families, that he always came and redeemed us and saved us, families, we was never supposed to forget. But we forget in prophecies. We don't go back to the days of old. We don't go back to the prophets, families. That way that when certain events come to happen, families, it won't shock us like it's shocking everybody else. Families, we reading the prophecies. Families, these have been, it's been in a book for generations, man. Check this out. Watch this. The Most High sat there and said, so the house of Yahshua, he didn't say the whole world. When he sat there and says that Israel will be a world without end, families, I don't give a care what brother that people like out here or what sister that people like out here. There's no way that you is going to stop what the Most High is finna great to do for Israel at this moment. And that's real talk. You could be, man, people is getting so emotional, man. You need some milk. Get out your feelings, man. Go get that milk. Man, the Most High sat there and says you need mighty men. All men of what? War. Families, if you don't think that your creator is an Elohim of war, he's a God of war. He will do anything to fight for his people. Check this out. And the heathen shall know that the house of Yasharallah went into captivity for their iniquity. What heathens? These heathens that's finna ready to to ally themselves together, and families, they finna get ready to go against Israel. Not all Christians or all believers, or no, families, they finna get ready to go against one nation and one nation only, and that's Israel. Because Israel, the commandments, laws, and statutes was given to them first. That's why. Because the Most High says that I give my secrets to who? His prophets, not the world. Come on, families. Check this out. And the heathen shall know. A lot of people don't go into these scriptures, man. You can tell. A lot of people stay in the New Testament. Families, you ain't even going to understand the New Testament unless you go into the Old. And the reason why Matthew, Luke, John, Paul, Mark, why they even spoke how they spoke, James, you wouldn't even know the reason why they spoke what they spoke if you didn't go to the Old. Let's go, man. And the heathen shall know that the house of Yasharallah went into captivity for their iniquities, because they trespassed against me. Therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into what? The hand of their enemies. So I failed. So failed they all by the sword. That's the reason why we in this punishment. That's the reason why we don't know. That's the reason why a lot of people out here is out of order. Check this out. According to their uncleanness, and according to their transgressions, have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. Therefore thus said Yahuwah the Elohim, now will I bring again the captivity of who? Jacob, my brothers and sisters. And he gonna do what? Have mercy upon who? The whole house of Yasharallah, my brothers and sisters. Why? And I will be will be jealous for who? For my holy name. Because we forgot his name, families. We forgot his ways. We forgot his statutes. We forgot all that. Why? Because you go to Isaiah chapter 2. No. Let me finish that out. I gotta finish that out, families. I have to finish this out. I have to finish that out. Then we go to Isaiah chapter 2. Then we go back to our video. After that, they have borne their shame and all their trespasses whereby they have trespassed against me, when they dwelt safely in their land, and none made them afraid. He truly protected us, families, our forefathers. And then they still went out there and started whoring against other gods, doing precepts of men. We out here learning just traditions of men. We learning false doctrines and all types of stuff. And then you saying hallelujah right behind it and some more stuff. And then you will listen to people that sit there and say that the Most High showed me this, but family, they won't give you not one precept. They won't show you one scripture that the Most High showed you that. And where it said, thus said the Most High. I can take you to a couple brothers that I know for a fact, families, that I can tell that the Most High is dealing with them righteously, families. And families, they show you every precept that you need to understand. They give you scriptures, man. Families, I done seen so many people out here, false prophets, that sat there and said that the Most High showed me this and the Most High showed me that, and ain't showed you not one prophecy, ain't told you one prophecy, ain't showed you one scripture. And families, you have brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of Zion. They don't claim themselves Israel, but they still sons and daughters of Zion. And families, they actually bag that up. I be like, wow. Check this out though, man. When I have brought them again from the people and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, and I am sanctifying them in the sight of many nations, they shall know that I am Yahuwah their Elohim, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathens. But I have gathered them. Who's going to gather us? It sure ain't going to be no earthly man. It will be him that's going to gather us, man. That's who we, man. It's the patience of the saints. That's our faith, families. We have patience, families, that are our true Elohim Yahuwah is going to come and save us, families, and redeem us, families, and show us true prophecies, families. Thus said the Lord, families. Bagging up with our prophets, families. We don't go out there and do rumors of wars and wars, families, and listen to that stuff, families, and don't have precepts to back up what steps that we need to know about. We don't do that. Let's go, man. Then shall they know that I am Yahuwah, that Elohim, which caused them to be led into captivity amongst the heathens. But I have gathered them into their own land, and have left none of them any more there. The Most High going to gather all of us that claim Israel. Neither will I hide my face. He ain't going to hide his face to Israel no more. Any more from them. For I have poured out my what? Ruach upon the house of who? Yasharallah, said the Most High Elohim. Man, come on, man. Don't play with him, man. What's wrong with y'all out, man? Man, people ain't come wake up. Man, my brothers and sisters out there that ain't claiming themselves Yasharallah, you need to wake up for real. What's wrong with you? You read these scriptures, man. You know these scriptures speak. Live it, man. What's wrong with y'all? Man, let's bag that up, families, with Isaiah chapter 2. Isaiah chapter 2, and then we're going to go back to our video. Isaiah chapter 2, verses 2 through 5. Isaiah chapter 2, verses 2 through 5. And it shall come to pass. I love it when it says that, families, because families, that lets you know that your election is sure. If you obey the law, statutes, and commandments of your Creator. Check this out. And it shall come to pass in the last days. What days, families? These last days. That the mountain of the Most High's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Most High, to the house of the Elohim of who? Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk what? In his paths. In his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the what? The law and the word of the Most High. From where? Your home place, Jerusalem. You think this a game? He's saying this in the last. Oh, I forgot. People run away from real prophecy. Israel don't, though. Israel don't. Check this out. And he shall judge among the who? The nations with an S. And shall rebuke many people. Those that love spiritual judgment, you're going to get yours pretty soon. Those that sit there love judging all the time, you're going to get yours real soon. And shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their what? Swords into plowshares, and their spears into pronging hooks. Nation shall not lift up swords against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Why shouldn't they learn more war anymore? Because, families, Israel will have rulership on this whole planet. O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Most High Yahuwah. Therefore, thou hast forsaken thy people of the house of Jacob, because they have replenished from the where? The east. The east. Check this out. I ain't said nothing about no West Coast, man. Why? Because you got Mystery Babylon. You got the whore of Babylon way over here on the West Coast doing all types of abomination right now. And that's facts, families. You got North America, South America, and Central America just out here just going crazy in the Western Hemisphere. And you think the Most High ain't finna come and see this place? Man, what is wrong with America? For real, man. And you want me to sit there and say that I'm American? No, man, I'm Yasharala, man. What's wrong with y'all, man? They don't woke up the wrong brother, man. Therefore thou hast forsaken thy people of the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and are soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of who? Strangers. Because the Most High said and tells Israel, you don't sit amongst the table of devils. Let's go, man. Check this out. Their land also is full of silver and gold. Neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land is also full of horses. Neither is there any end of their chariots. Their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. And the mean man boweth down, and the great man humbled himself. Therefore forgive them not. Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust, for the fear of Yahuwah, and for the glory of his majesty. The lofty looks of a man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of man shall be bowed down, and the Most High alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Most High of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Now you see why I said that, and I was telling everybody that popularity would get you killed. Families, I've been doing some studying real talk, man. I go to my classes for real. Families, I don't go in there and say hi to everybody. I don't go in there and sit there and I say shalom, kwam, yasharala, and families, I eat. I listen, man. For real, families, I try to obey orders, man. This is a lifestyle. This is a culture. This ain't something, man, where you go live and you read a couple of scriptures so you can get views, and so everybody can lift your name and sit there and say you so wise and you so anointed, and the Most High has just really no, families. That ain't even how I've been getting taught. Far from it, families. I stay far away from that type of treatment. Families, I don't want you to exalt me in no way, form, or fashion. Families, if you ain't giving all praises to the Most High Yah, and for how he's waking us up in this hour, then who are you giving praises to? That's why I've been trying to learn how to worship him, families. I pray to him all the time, families, but families, I didn't know how to worship my Creator. I gotta thank the Most High Yah for making me be around people that's teaching me how to worship him correctly. Man, this is a song for Babylon.
Do you know what they do to the youths then? Prostitute them, mad, boom. Turn them around, put their face to the wall, then they shoot them. Little babies, they abuse them. Little Sadie, she was innocent. But because she was a Christian, but them man a Muslim, in God's name they're busting in. Boom, we got too many divisions. I hate religion. Too many ism and schism, yeah. Too many dirty politicians, yeah. Look at my brothers in the prison, yeah. Now mama's head is gone missing. I know I don't condone crime, but I told my from time we weren't designed for this system. Boom, look at the planes in the sky down. What am I spray down? Chemicals and dirt polluting the earth, they don't care about me and you, no. The world is overpopulated, so how they gonna solve it? Fluoride in the water, food producing cancer,
Beautiful
new
Queen
world
Jackson, we know we
order.
love you
This
right
is the
there,
new
sis. Let's go,
world
Queen.
order.
Hey, Quan, that's what I love.
This is the new
I love
world
you, sis.
order.
May the Most High always hold you.
Yeah.
God, you bless you, keep you, and protect you, Queen.
Fluoride in the water, fluoride in the water, fluoride in the water. Food producing cancer, food producing cancer. Yo, boom. So now you got cancer. You gotta fight that with radiation. Another NHS patient. More money for the corporation. Police are still killing the innocent. Greedy banks still making millions. But my people suffering, but are my people suffering? That is thinking Babylon, you've had your time. Now it's time to let my people go. Let my people go. Moses went to Pharaoh, told him, let my people
Let's go,
go.
Israel. Come on.
Let my people go. Let my people go. Hey, you've had your time, but your time is running down. Can you hear the sound of judgment now? Be bold, be strong and stand firm. The Most High won't allow the righteous to suffer. He's in control, he sits on the throne, the King of Kings. Oh, don't you know? When he returns, it ain't gonna be no tic-tac-toe. You best let them know. Boom, bye, bye, you best let them know. Boom, bye, bye, you best let them know. Took us from Africa to plant and sow. Now you rich and you don't need us. You tell us come out your country and go back home. Russ, disrespect and cheek. They can't believe these freaks. Who built the railways and who cleaned the streets? Who worked in full time, produced all the fleas?
Yasharala, I see you, beautiful Queen No Shade. Let's go, sis. Hey. Alright, families. We're gonna end it off, families, man, with one more prophecy, families, and it's gonna be in the book of Zechariah. The book of Zechariah, families. We also finna go into the book of Obadiah as well, families, over here as well. We're gonna go over there, families, and that way, cause families, a lot of people is not going through certain scriptures, families. Why they don't want you to know these things, I don't know. Families. I don't do none of that half truth mess. If you want to do half truth, stay far away from me. Stay far away from me. Far away from me. Because the Most High don't play that. He says that we're gonna know all truth. He says that he's gonna bring all things. He didn't say no half things. He didn't sit there and say just certain things that he wants you to know. No, he says all things to your remembrance. All praises to the Most High in Yeshua HaMashiach name. Those that call him Jesus Christ of Nazareth, Emmanuel. And the set apart fire families, that Ruach HaKodesh. Let's go, beautiful Queen Jacqueline. I see you, sis. And he sit there and says with a stammering lips and a different tongue that he will talk to his people. So families, don't run away from people, man, when when they trying to wake you up in this hour, man, it don't make no sense. Well, why? Why? It don't make sense, man. You running away from truth. Zechariah chapter 14, 3 through 9. Let's go, families. Now we're going to read 1 through 9. Behold, the day of the Most High cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against who? Jerusalem to battle. That's what I'm trying to tell you, families. That's the reason why that must happen, families. Yes, beautiful queen, beautiful Queen Jacqueline. His word is the truth. It's unfolding every day. It's unfolding all types of mysteries, families. But a lot of people is not going to have these type of mysteries. Why? Because Yeshua said himself that a lot of people are not going to understand hard sayings. Families, some people, they just wasn't built like that. Some of us, most of us that are true Israel is, families, because you are the seed of your father. You can tell who's Esau. Families, people think Esau is like the white man and all this and that. Families, Esau, the spirit of Esau, families, if those that reject who they are, you are Esau. When you go against your own brother, you are Esau. When you take the little things in life, you is a Esau. Don't get me wrong. People don't understand that, man. People don't understand the notion what Esau was doing to his brother. People were thinking of a skin color. No, man, it was the nature of Esau, man. Check this out, though. For I will gather all the nations against who? Jerusalem. He didn't sit there and say to just believers. He didn't sit there and say it to those that show love. Man, he's sitting there saying, man, where you come from. For I will gather all nations with an S against who? Jerusalem to battle. And the city should be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. He gonna make sure he save a small remnant. Why? Because he needs somebody to be a witness. Check this out. Then shall the Most High go forth and fight against those nations. Who's gonna go forth and fight against those nations? Not us. It's gonna be the Father. Check this out. Then shall the Most High go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle, and his feet shall stand in that day upon where? The Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the mountain of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof towards the east and towards the west, and there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall be removed towards the north and towards the south. It's going to divide the nations where all 12 tribes is scattered out on this planet, families. Check this out. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal. Ye shall flee, like all ye fled from before the earthquakes in the days of Uriah. I can never say that word. Uzziah, king of Judah, Yehuda, and the Most High, my Elohim shall come, and all the saints with thee. Who's the saints? Israel. Why are they the saints? Because they keep the law, statutes, and commandments. They believe in keeping the feast days. They believe, families, in not eating pork and other stuff. And if you think this is a joke, take man, watch. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to the Most High. To who? It ain't gonna be known to you. It's gonna be known to him. He been waiting on this moment. You know how long your creator been waiting on this moment? Check this out, man. But it shall be one day, which shall be known to who? The Most High. Not day nor night, but it shall come to pass. Slacky families. But it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light, and it shall be in that day that living water shall go out from where? Jerusalem, my brothers and sisters, half of them towards the former sea, and half of them towards the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be. And the Most High shall be king over all the earth, my brothers and sisters. In that day shall shall there be one Elohim, and his name one. Ooh, that was so powerful, families. That right there, that right there is powerful, families. Mm, 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 mm. That was beautiful. That right there, man. Zechariah chapter 14. Don't play nobody games, man. Also, man, read Zechariah chapter 10 all the way to 14. Families, man, Zechariah gets the Most High shows Zechariah some deep prophecies, families, that's going to happen to all these nations. He's just showing you right here, families, of how all the nations will come together, families, and go against Jerusalem. And the Most High is waiting on that day. He's waiting on it. But families, you gotta have somebody gotta be a big bully. So they choose a mystery Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, the great whore. She will be the one that will bully most of the nation, families, so they all can start being allies, families, for real. So they can go against who? The true saints. Families can call it whatever you want to call it, families. I read scriptures. It don't, whatever word you want to put right there, family, it says saints. Let's look up the definition of what a saint is. What's the true definition of a saint? A person acknowledged as holy. How can you be holy? That means for you to be holy, you must be what? Set apart. Or virtuous. Or typically regarded as being in heaven after death. A very virtuous, kind, and patient person. That's just an informal thing that they want to call it, family. What is the meaning of the saints in the Bible? A saint is a person who is recognized as having an exceptional degree of holiness. What is holiness? Once again, to be set apart, my brothers and sisters. That means you must be, to be set apart, you have to be what? Righteous. In order for you to be righteous, families, or likeness or closeness to the Most High, depending on the religion, saints are recognized either by official ecclesiastical declarations, as in the Catholic faith, which I disagree, or by popular acclamations. That Catholic faith ain't supposed to be right there. It's supposed to be Hebrew. But of course, they put that up in there so it can fit their agenda, of course. But we know that if you get it from this Bible, this is called a Hebrews Bible. It's the Hebrew Holy Bible. That's the name of this Bible. It don't say nothing about no Catholic. It don't sit there and say nothing about no. It says the Holy One of Israel all through this Bible. It don't say nothing about no Catholic list or 7-day Adventists or Penta. None of that. No, none of that. People take certain words, man, and they put their twist on it, man. Stick to the scriptures, families. Families, we're going to go a little bit more into this video. And then families, tomorrow, families, if it's the Most High is willing, we have to go into how can we put on our priestly garments. We got to get that study in. That study right there is powerful. But families, this event just happened. So we got to display this. I don't want a lot of people to be running around talking about, man, that's fake. That's fake, families. You can call it whatever you want to call it. All I know is this, families. If they're going to make it worldwide known that the U.S. just killed, that's supposed to be a brother, which is Ishmael. They are descendants of Ishmael, man. That's who they are. They fit Genesis chapter 16. That's who Iran is. That's who they are. Families, their religion is Islam. Muslims. That's who they are. Come on now.
Many U.S. soldiers and killed one American. After that attack by the Iranian militia in Iraq, then the United States counterstruck against locations in Syria and in Iraq against this Iranian-backed militia. And then after those counterstrikes, that's whenever there was the attack on the United States embassy in Baghdad in the Green Zone, to where they had breached the outer wall, but they never did get all the way inside to the U.S. personnel. And then the United States Secretary of Defense has said that there would be preemptive, that the game had changed. That was what he said. The game had changed, and they were serious about changing the game, because this changes the complexity of everything now in this conflict between the United States and Iran in the Middle East. We can certainly expect a lot of repercussions from this, from Iran toward the United States and Israel. And I would certainly suspect that it'll ramp up and begin in the next 24 hours. We will see. But the United States Secretary of Defense said the game had changed. It said there could be preemptive strikes, and there certainly was with this strike by the United States, killing the general, the leader of the Iranian Quds Force, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, Islamic Republic Guard, Quds Force, that leader, one of the strongest leaders in Iran. I would dare to say that besides the Ayatollah, there is no other popular figure, no other stronger leader or stronger figure in all of Iran besides the Ayatollah other than Qasem Soleimani, because he has reaped great fame for his network of proxy militias and terrorist groups that he has set up all across the Mideast. In fact, he has had such success in setting up the terrorist groups surrounding Israel, until now you have these terrorist groups that are backed by Iran, that from the Gaza Strip all the way to Lebanon and to Syria, and now in Iraq as well, you have these militias and these terrorist groups that have encircled Israel. And this Qasem Soleimani is the driving force and the architect behind all of that. For Iran, whenever it comes to military activities outside of the borders of Iran, Qasem Soleimani was the leader of Iran that was responsible for all of those activities external of the borders of Iran. So all of these militias in Iraq, all of these terrorist groups across Syria and Lebanon and in the Gaza Strip, all of these were all set up and linked to the Quds Force led by Qasem Soleimani. Also, as I mentioned, I was going to several different sites to cross-reference and to ensure that this was accurate information that we were getting. Also, the Jerusalem Post. The headline was Qasem Soleimani killed at the Baghdad airport. The Pentagon and also Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps confirms as well. It says here, the American and Israeli enemy is responsible for killing the Mujahideen Abu Mahdi al-Mohandes and Qasem Soleimani. That was a statement by the Iraqi PMF, or that's the Iranian militia's spokesman in Iraq by the name of Ahmad al-Asadi. And the Pentagon It goes on to say here at the Jerusalem Post that the Pentagon has confirmed that the U.S. is responsible for killing Qasem Soleimani, commander of the IRGC Quds Force, in an airstrike at Baghdad International Airport, along with the Iraqi militia commander Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis. The Iraqi Popular Mobilization Forces spokesperson also claimed that along with the U.S., that Israel was also involved with the attack. But I have not found any other cross-reference that said that in any type of a confirmation manner. The majority of all the information that we have read thus far shows that the United States was responsible. And regarding that, the Jerusalem Post goes on to say that at the direction of the president, the U.S. military has taken decisive defensive action to protect U.S. personnel abroad by killing Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps' Quds Force, a U.S. designated foreign terrorist organization. That was a quote from the U.S. Pentagon's statement regarding this. And then the statement continues, General Soleimani was actively developing plans to attack American diplomats and service members in Iraq and throughout the region. The U.S. Pentagon statement continues, General Soleimani and his Quds Force were responsible for the deaths of hundreds of American and coalition service members and the wounding of thousands more. According to the statement, Soleimani had orchestrated attacks on coalition bases in Iraq over the last several months, including this recent attack on December 27th that resulted in the wounding of more additional U.S. troops and also in the death of an American. General Soleimani also approved the attacks on the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad that took place this week. Now, this is exactly what I've been saying over the past few weeks here, is that all of this activity that's been going on with these attacks in Iraq, all of this is backed by Iran, and all of this is coordinated by Iran and through the IRGC of Iran. And this General Soleimani, like I've been saying, Iraq is a proxy. What's going on in Iraq is just like these proxy militias and these proxy terrorist groups across the Mideast. Basically, Iran, General Soleimani had taken over so much influence inside of Iraq. And with they had about 50 of these militias, these PMUs, these popular militia groups that they call them. And Soleimani was running all of that. Soleimani was basically calling the shots in Iraq, just like whenever we saw how the United States Embassy was attacked. The Iraqi security forces, they did absolutely nothing. In fact, they mingled with the crowd as these Iranian militia groups were attacking the U.S. Embassy. Iraq basically did nothing while the Iranian militias were attacking the U.S. Embassy. So Iraq has more or less become a proxy of Iran. And General Soleimani was running free in Iraq and was orchestrating all of this, just like the U.S. Pentagon just said. So they were watching him closely. And with this drone attack now killing him, no doubt they've been watching him closely. They had been surveilling him, surveilling all of his meetings, and etc. And then they realized what the plan was and the immediate danger to U.S. troops and U.S. diplomats. So they moved on, cutting off the head of the snake whenever it comes to the Iranian Quds Force. Now, the statement also went on to say that General Soleimani had approved the attacks on the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad that took place. And then it says this strike was aimed at deterring future Iranian attack plans. The United States will continue to take all necessary action to protect our people and our interests wherever they are around the world. Then also we look here, and I was just looking, those were Israeli sites. I'm looking now at U.S., and I see that the New York Times headline is that Trump orders killing of top Iranian general Qasem Soleimani in Baghdad. It says that Soleimani was planning attacks on American diplomats and military service members in Iraq and throughout the region, per the U.S. Pentagon. And it says that President Trump ordered the killing of the powerful commander of Iran's Revolutionary Guards Corps, Qasem Soleimani, in a drone strike at the Baghdad International Airport. And it says that General Soleimani's death has been confirmed by official Iranian media. So this is being confirmed from all directions. It's being confirmed by the United States, it's being confirmed by Israel, it's being confirmed by Iran. So there's no doubt that this event has happened. And it goes on to say that the killing of General Soleimani will be a major blow for Iran and a major escalation of President Trump's maximum pressure campaign against Iran, which began with economic sanctions, but now we see that it is increasingly creeping more into the area of military action as well. It says the strikes followed a warning, as I mentioned, from Defense Secretary Mark Esper, who said the United States military would preemptively strike Iranian-backed forces in Iraq and Syria if there were signs that they were planning more attacks against American bases and personnel. Now in Iran, state television there, it's being reported now, interrupted its programming to announce General Soleimani's death. And also, some analysts are saying that this is devastating for the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps, the regime and the Ayatollah's regional ambitions. And as I mentioned, I think that Soleimani was functionally the number 2 guy in Iran. I had been, as you all know, I watch the Signs of the Last Days very closely, and I had been watching Soleimani for years now. And whenever you would see any major activity or a major figure of a government in the Middle East, whenever they would come to Iran, you would always see there would be the Ayatollah involved. You would also see Soleimani involved. And at times, I remember that recently in 2019, there was a trip by Assad of Syria where he had come to Iran for a meeting. And when he met with the Ayatollah, and guess who was there? It was also Soleimani. So it was the Ayatollah and Soleimani that was there whenever they met with Assad. The president of Iran wasn't there. The foreign minister of Iran wasn't there. In fact, the foreign minister of Iran got so mad about it that he resigned. But then the Iranian president got him to change his mind, Rouhani got him to change his mind and to stay. But that just goes to show you how of a prominent figure and how this is, beside the Ayatollah, I would say militarily, that this was the strongest leader that Iran has. So this is a major event. This is a major sign of the last days prophecies. For the Holy Scriptures tell us that in the last days there will be wars and rumors of wars. That's in Matthew the 24th chapter and also Luke the 21st chapter. And it goes on to say that nation will rise against nation as these wars and rumors of wars are happening. And as you look at the Revelation prophecies foretell in Revelation the 6th chapter, when the seals are open, that the red horse of war, one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, the red horse of war, will be riding through the world, and that there will be great war that will happen at that time. And we see the signs. The signs are building. The signs are happening now, showing us that we live at the time of the last days, the signs of the last days. And right now what I want to do is I want to go and just do a quick check before we would sign off with you this evening concerning this news, and see if there's any other strike or counter-strike that has happened in the Middle East. Wars and rumors of wars, signs of wars in the Middle East. And as of right now, I'm not seeing that there's any other significant news item coming across the media sites about this. So this evening, we got the news that Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Iranian Quds Force, as I was mentioning, I think the number one military leader in Iran, President Trump, ordered the United States military to attack a convoy at the airport in Iraq, at Baghdad, with this drone shooting a missile strike into a convoy of cars, killing Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps Quds Force, the one that's responsible for all militias, all terrorists outside of the borders of Iran. Killing him, and also killing the leader, the head, who reports to Soleimani, the man that is the head of the Iranian militias in Iraq, with the reason for the attack being that the United States had intelligence that Soleimani was planning additional attacks on U.S. personnel and U.S. diplomats in Iraq. So therefore, U.S. President Trump ordered that drone strike. And I'm sure that over the next 24 hours and the next days, that we will see repercussions from this across the Middle East. War, rumors of wars in the Middle East. The signs of the last days prophecies are happening, just like the Bible said. So please keep a watch on your notifications for the Signs of the Last Days channel, as we will be continuing to watch and pray as the Lord Jesus Christ said. We'll continue to watch the signs that are happening in the world of the prophecies of the Holy Scriptures that give us indication and sign that the Lord Jesus Christ is soon to come for his church at the end of this age of grace. And may the Lord God bless you and keep you in the kingdom of our Lord, in Jesus' name.
All praises, family, man. I had to go and drop off that Jules. Sis, you said, yeah, sis, I seen that, sis. You said that justification. I thought not too long just watched I'll show you which one I just got to watching, sis. This one was very edifying too, sis. I was watching this one at work before I end up getting this update, because we were going to be going over the law and the testimonies. That's the one I just got to watching, sis. The one that you talk about, I think I watched that one probably about the beginning of last week, if I'm not mistaken, sis. But this the one that I watched today was the laws and the laws and the testimonies. That's the one I watched today. And you said the justification by faith. And yeah, I seen that one, sis. Hey, that one was powerful, sis. We need to go. Families, you can always go to LG News, families, and families, man. They got some wonderful teachings, man. They teach you basic steps through thy precepts. And families, man, you get a lot of understanding, man. You really do. You really, really do. There's a lot of people that's speaking through these scriptures, families, but families, they man. Families, man, let's continue to get Hebraic understanding when it comes down to reading your sword. Families, on top of that, families, stay around people, especially if they're gonna feed you with spiritual meat. Stay around those, man, that know who the book is talking about. Stay around them. You know what I'm saying? Families, we're gonna end it out, man, with a song. Families, I want to say, man, may the Most High Yah always hold you, bless you, guide you, keep you, protect you, Yasharala, in all things that you do. Families, we are highly favored. Families, highly favored. And families, don't let nobody tell you anything different. Families, you are the chosen people of this book. You are Yasharala. Families, don't let nobody tell you different, man. Those that's in Americas. Families, a lot of people gonna sit there and say that you cannot trace where you come from. Families, you are from the tribe of Judah, Yehuda. You fit the curses in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Don't let nobody tell you anything different, man. Tomorrow, families, we go do our study class. We have to finish out that video before the Sabbat. Because during our Sabbat, we will be doing part 2 of that, families, of putting on your priestly garments. So we will have the 46, read verses 8 through 13. Your other precept that you need, my brothers and sisters. The other verses that you need, my brothers and sisters, will be of how Daniel prophesied about that. Families, you need Genesis chapter 16 verses 12, as well Genesis chapter 21 and 20. Then you will go back to Genesis chapter 17 and 20. Then, families, you will go to the book of Job chapter 39, read verses 5 and 8, and it shows you his nature as a wild ass, a beast. This is Ishmael. Okay, families, it's just showing you of how he will start teaming up with Russia. Then you'll read Ezekiel chapter 38, its entirety. Read that whole book, that whole chapter. Then you'll read on your spare time, read the whole chapter of Ezekiel chapter 39. Then you will take that precept to Daniel chapter 11, verses 40 through 45. Then you will go to the next chapter, Daniel chapter 12, verses 1 through 3. Then you will bag that up with another precept, with another prophet, Zechariah chapter 14, 3 through 9. And then, well, really, the whole book of Zechariah. But to get to the meat of it, families, just to get to the main part, is Zechariah chapter 14, 3 through 9. Then you will go to an end time prophecy, and that will be Revelation chapter 9, 13 through 18. Then you will go to Revelation chapter 16 and 12. This is dealing with Ishmael and Russia. And then the promise that the Most High has for Israel will be Isaiah chapter 2.
I could see if I'd done something noble, incredible, or simply wonderful. Then I'd understand just why you care for me. Saved a child from a building on fire, then fed all the hungry, supplied their need. Then maybe it would make more sense why you dare to love me. But this love thing, talked about it all. No one else can love me more Ran to others, part-time lovers, for comfort, Lord, I'm sorry, I must have been out of my head. Tell me how many times did I manage to break your heart? Oh yeah, said I do, but I didn't. Know I should, but I wouldn't. In spite of it all, still you said I'll always love you as you are. This long thing, talked about it all before. No one else can love me more. This love thing, talked about it all before. Ooh, no one else can love me like a mother's love for her newborn child. You've embraced me in my faults, oh, with a love so strong and
Shalom, beautiful queen anointed. Shalom, beautiful queen anointed. Salam, sister, upper to the most high. Yeah, let's go, queen. I'm loving you when you come with your Hebraic understanding, sis. Let's go. Look at you, queen.
No matter what I do, I'm so in love with you. Talked about it all before. The truth about it, yeah. No one. I can't figure out why you love me, and you're always thinking of me. Said the truth about it, yeah. No one. I tried and I tried, still I can't figure out the way that I feel. But I know that it's real. Been so good to me, the things you do for me. No one else can love me more.
In Psalms chapter 83, families, it sits there and says that they will take crafty counsel against the Most High's hidden ones, the true sons and daughters of Zion. Where the children of Yasharala at, scattered abroad on all four corners of this planet. I want to say that we are out here. Let's go. Kwam Yasharala. Shalom, Yisrael. Shalom.